Game time family, I got a question. Is this Houston Texans game a trap game for the Chiefs? Guys, what makes a trap game? Short weeks, emotional letdowns, travel, injuries, or an opponent that matches up schematically. The Texans checks more than one of those boxes. The physical front line that loves to crowd the line of scrimmage and force teams into third and long. When you let them turn the contest into a grind, they win the time of possession and keep Mahomes on the sideline, which by paradox helps them. The Texans run stunts and they disguise a lot of their blitzes, guys, to force quick reads. Mahomes is great under pressure, but even he is less effective when he has to process even faster, or when he is forced to scramble into traffic. If the Chiefs come in expecting to outgun Houston in a shootout, they risk turning a manageable game into a series of high leverage plays. After a big win, teams can unconsciously dial it down. That's when slowed down physical teams like Houston can flip the script. A trap isn't about talent, it's about control. And control starts with the line of scrimmage. To cure a trap game is simple. Win in the trenches and the clock. Running the ball accomplishes three things. It removes early pressure off Patty, 1. It forces Texans to commit more defenders in the box, 2. And it shortens drives and limits Houston's chances. In practical terms, it means run the ball on early downs and use play action to open up the field later. Keep tight ends in the game to help block and create extra gaps for the backs. Use outside zone and play action off of that, right? Not only does it get the running backs going, it sets up explosive chunk plays down the field when the Texans overcommit. Don't forget to mix in some RPOs. They punish aggressive linebackers and keep Mahomes from being the entire offense, guys. We got to manage Mahomes. We know he a magician with the ball, and if the passing game is clicking, but you don't want to bet the house on a miracle play behind Mahomes' struggling run game. Fewer negative plays and more controlled third down situations win these matchups. If the Chiefs can sustain drives, run, and convert short yardage situations, Mahomes can operate with a pace and reduce turnover risk. So let's dig into the matchups, guys. So first, we're going to have Wanye versus Will Anderson. If the tackles get pushed inside or beaten on the outside, Mahomes will be under duress all day. That means early game chips from the tight ends and the running backs and sliding protection to obvious passing downs. The second matchup is going to be Kareem Hunt versus Aziz, the middle linebacker. These are the true winners of this game. If the running backs can get downhill and hit the second level, Houston's plan to load the box collapses. So next we got to look at the play calling, right? What Andy's going to call. We got to start with some zone to test the edge, 2 or 3 reps, then hit them with a little bit of play action to a deep seam or a deep crossing route when the linebacker bites up. Follow that with some power on the early downs to punish the light boxes. And on obvious short downs, we need to do some power or some counter with motion to free up a pulling guard. Mix that with some screens on the early downs when Houston show that aggressive stunts, and a well-timed running back screen will neutralize all the edge rushing and flip the field position. So some of the formations we need to roll out is going to be 2 tight end sets to add blocking and create mismatches in the middle. Using pre-snap motions to identify light boxes. For the second half, we need to introduce some misdirection, some counters, some trap plays, especially if the Texans defense start to over pursue. Finally, we need to start targeting the middle of the field when the linebackers start to creep up to their run fits. Tight ends, seams, and dig routes become high-value plays once they honor the run. All right, so let's get into worst-case scenarios. If the Chiefs ignore the run, Mahomes is going to face repeated pressure, and the Texans convert turnovers into long clock-eating drives. That's a recipe for a true trap. If that happens early, the coaching staff needs to immediately adjust to quick game concepts, slants, bubble screens, 3-step drops to pull the pressure off of the tackles and reestablish rhythm. If Houston starts blitzing heavy, we got to counter with max protect and quick outs, and sneak the running back in with some draws to punish the over-aggression of the defense. If Mahomes gets hit or shows signs of being off balance, shorten the playbook. Like, go conservative. You know what I'm saying? Do some 2-minute clock control sequences between the 20s and let the running back absorb the contact. Use the play clock smartly. Chew the clock on first downs to keep Houston's offense off the field. And if we happen to be trailing, we need to move to quick tempo pre-snap to force mistakes and create simpler reads for Mahomes. Halftime adjustments should focus on personnel. If an O-line is getting bullied, rotate an extra blocker or move to a heavy set. Don't forget special teams. Field position matters. Pinning Houston deep changes their willingness to load the box. Simple, disciplined adjustments win trap games. Trap games don't have to be traps. If the Chiefs win the trenches and manage Mahomes' workload, they can walk out with a clean dub. But if they ignore the run, and the Texans could make this the kumbaya for the Chiefs season. Like, comment, and subscribe. Share to stay aware. Holla at your boy, man. Forget, guys, we still are gonna give this lucky subscriber this Iron Man Chiefs helmet. We're gonna be giving it away, guys. So make sure you subscribe and you will be entered to win this Chiefs Iron Man helmet. It is dope.